welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. I have been blessed with the great honor and privilege to be invited to a huge collaboration called Pourembrance, which has been put together to greet every soldier and veteran all around the world who gave their lives or have been wounded trying to defend values such as freedom and peace in so many countries and for so many decades, even today. So the sweet Australian artist Nathan Lindsay from the Fine Art of Distraction YouTube channel gathered 46 pouring artists around him and masterfully organized this 7 days event, which you can find every single playlist down below in my description box. I want to thank each and every one of these artists for everything they put in this collab and also for the help they provided each other, setting an example for beginners like me. It is such a beauty to see so many people coming together for a cause and to be a part of it. And of course, so many thanks to Nathan Lindsay for his huge work and help in managing everything. We love you so much. To begin the journey that has been this collab for me, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how we tend to deal with war here in France. In fact, we don't talk about it that much, except in the media, but not really in private. I was born in Lorraine, near the German border. My mother's parents were a little too young in World War II, but they experienced German occupation and food stamps. My father's parents, on the other hand, were living in Alsace at the time, which was invaded by the Germans then, as it had been on many occasions in the past centuries, and my grandfather had been forcefully enrolled in the German army and sent to the Siberian war front. His army corps was called Les Malgré Nous, the Despite Us. He managed to survive until his battalion was sent back to Paris. Then he deserted and went into hiding. I don't know exactly when, nor do I know what he had to do to survive until the end of the war. None of them ever talked about this time, and fortunately, none of them had to go to Algeria in the 50s because they were married and with kids. So I've never felt any connection with army forces. So when Nate asked me about the collab, I said yes right away because it was him, but immediately went into panic mode because I felt I won't have anything to show up for or to bring to the table. Then I learned by the radio that 3 Special Forces soldiers, French soldiers, had died in Iraq this past August, trying to help Iraq forces to fight ISIS by training them and bringing them logistic support. I didn't even know we still had army forces over there. So someone I know provided me with a picture of what should be their camouflage uniform, and I went from there. Thank you, Luther. I began researching Iraq landscapes and was so shocked that it was not as desertic as I thought. It has lakes, rivers, mountains, even snowy ones. That gave me an idea for my composition and techniques that I wanted to use, because Iraq landscapes are so beautiful and contrasted, and really it inspired me to do something a little epic for me. So this is the first time that I use some of the techniques you are going to see. So bear with me for a moment and let's go and do some painting for our soldiers and vets. I decided to work on an 80 by 40 centimeters MDF board, which is, I think, 32 by 16 inches, and I began prepping it with some gesso. I first diluted it because I really wanted the gesso to go into every single nook and cranny and really anchor itself into the board, so that I was sure that it's going to be completely covered and allow my pour to glide smoothly on there and not to be sipped into the board itself. So it took me, I think, 4 layers of this, and I didn't really try to do anything with the sides of the thing. So I mixed a set of colors. This set is for my uniform camouflage thing. I mixed some white and I mixed some colors to figure the Iraqi landscapes, So I have gold, sandy colors. I have a dark bronzy gray for the mountains. I have some red for the rooftops of the Iraqi houses. I have green. This custom-made gray, green, blue is to figure out lakes and rivers. And for my uniform colors, I mixed matte colors and metallic ones to quite match the matte colors I had. So I'm going to explain to you exactly what I envisioned. The two little cups on the sides are made with my camouflage colors, and in the middle I layered some colors to figure out the backgrounds, and I'm putting some puddles, some flow extenders, and in the middle I have the landscape colors, and on the sides the camouflage colors. And what happened was the camouflage colors stayed exactly how I thought they would, but in the landscape colors, the gray took all the space. It ate up every sandy colors I put in, so I have white, dark gray, a little green, a little red, and that's it. So I lost all the sandy colors for the landscapes I wanted to have. Okay guys, so this painting is actually going crazy by herself. I just mixed fresh batches of colors and a fresh batch of my pouring medium recipe, and this is selling up all over the place. And I have big, weird, I don't know if I should call them cells. See? This is crazy. And I even have some separation. This is nuts. Okay. I'm gonna let it dry because it's a very nice board that I have, and I'm gonna see how I'm gonna fix it. I already had in mind a resin project on top of this. Maybe this blobbing action is gonna be of some help. We're gonna see about that. For the next step of this project, I gathered some silicone molds because I wanted to do some druses, rocks, and tiny mountains by myself with some resin. So I gathered everything that I could find resembling a mountain pikes, and I have different quality molds, and this one is for the tiny rocks that I wanted to create with resin. Then I decided to enroll my own daughter, so you can see two pair of hands, and use crystal resin, piñata, alcohol inks in opal. This is a metallic by Let's resin, and this is ice blue by Arteza. These are mica powders. So we mixed up those colors and randomly poured some resin into the mold. Some with plain colors, some we decided to mix and match colors. We used tiny pipettes, we used silicone sticks. It took us quite some time, and my camera decided not to stay in focus for some reason, but hey, never mind, you know what I'm doing. So the most difficult part was to fill the mold on the left side because it was so tiny, and we wanted to make very pretty tiny rocks to put here and there on the painting. So it took tiny sticks and tiny pipettes, and I'm the one doing that while my daughter is filling the rock molds, and she really did enjoy the process. So we couldn't wait to go to the molding part because we really love the colors that we chose for this particular part of the project. We are debubbling with a long neck lighter, oh Lord. And then we waited for it to cure. It's a 4-hour demold resin. Some of the molds were pretty easy to demold, as you can see. These ones are very supple ones, and some are more sturdy, more rigid. This particular one that I have in my hands, I had to open it up with a knife and destroy it in order to free the resin that we put inside. So I hope I can use it for another project, but see what my daughter made with how she mixed the mica powders. I think it's a gorgeous composition for these rocks. I really love the fact that she decided not to do them in plain colors, but to mix and match some gold, some blue, and the results are very, very stunning, I think. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that some of my rocks were made with diamond glass. The very shiny white ones are made with diamond glass. This one that I have in hand, particularly. I don't think we kept the geode ones. They, for some reason, didn't really match the landscape that I poured. So I think we put them aside, but I'm gonna use them for some other projects. And we loved the resin making so much, but we were lacking some colors, so we decided to mix some Artexat pigments, some in green, orange, chameleon reds, champagne, and a very dark sage green. And we made another batch of rocks. We put aside the geode ones. We decided to do some tiny rocks with the pipettes, and so we did some rocks in plain colors and some with mixed colors, as we did for the first batch. And this one turned amazing too. We were so very pleased about that. My plan for the next step was to outline some parts of my composition with a permanent pen, and I wanted to thank Taslim and Maya Art to have made me discover this pen, because they're brilliant. So it gives me some gold relief, because I chose a gold color, to outline some areas, and I wanted to be able to get back some of the colors I lost. So in terms of rivers, I wanted to have some sandy beaches and stuff like that. Then I decided to glue down some of my rocks that I chose and positioned as I wanted to, with some diamond glaze. And so that's what I did. I couldn't keep everything I created, so I chose according to the colors that I needed to get back in some places. I managed to tone down some of my big black areas, and to get rid of some of my big blobby things. And I spaced out all my rocks that I wanted to keep, and glued them down very firmly, and it worked like a dream. Then for the next part, I had to tweak some areas with my golden pen, make sure that everything was in place, and I began pouring some resin. So now you are seeing me pouring some sandy color that I made myself, and I put it on both sides of my Iraqi background. And I really love this color. It's a very sandy one. And then I decided to do my rivers. So I mixed some mica powders, some blue mica powders, and blue resin dye, and I poured one of my river. The river on the left went totally fine because it was on its own, but the river on the right was touching the sandy areas that I just poured with resin, and my gold outline wasn't thick enough, so everything mixed up. I spent some time trying to tweak things and some cleaning. I wanted to get rid of some stuff that I overpoured. It really did not work out as I planned it, so I ended up scraping everything, the river, the sandy part, and decided to let everything else dry and go back to it the day after that. And that's what I did. I decided to begin with the river. I did a slightly different color from the other one. I thought it was a good touch to make something a little darker. And then I left it to dry. Then, when the river on the right was dry, I poured another sandy colored. I made this one a little lighter. At first it wasn't on purpose, but I thought that I didn't have to do everything the same color. So that's what I did. And I managed to get some sandy rivers. What I'm doing now is outlining some other areas, because as my resin rivers were done, I thought it was missing something. So I decided to outline some of the background with copper pearl pen, and the mountains, the white parts of the mountains, with a cream pen. Then I poured some resin mixed with diamond dust on the snowy parts to try and achieve some kind of crushed glass effect. And then I poured some of the little rocks that I made all around the area where I thought my snowy mountain was. Then I decided that I wanted to make my green parts shiny, so I mixed some interference green powder into some clear resin and made my green parts a little less green and a little more shiny. And as you're gonna be able to see in the close-ups in the end of the video, I'm very pleased with the result. It was very beautiful. And on the internal part of my landscape, I poured some clean resin where I mixed up some piñata, opal, alcohol ink, and I really love the effect. So to finish up the piece, I varnished the non-resin part with some classificator varnish from Cleopatra that I diluted 1 part varnish and 1 part water, and it gave the nicest effect. As you're going to be able to see in the last part of my video, I decided to change the orientation for you, because when I was pouring, I was looking at it the way that you are seeing it right now, and I filmed the whole process from the other way, but I really like this angle. Here is the crushed glass effect. I really love the 2 blues for the rivers, the crystals, the difference between matte paint and metallic ones, and I love my finished piece. I had some cracking in my varnish that made my painting underneath crack a little, but all in all, I'm very glad on how this all turned out. I hope you liked it. You could subscribe on your way out if you liked what you saw, and give me a thumbs up. Right after me is gonna be the wonderful Heather Renee. So thank you everyone for this wonderful collab, and I hope to see you soon on my channel. Bye guys, take care of you. I love you. Bye.